Unfortunately, we are finding out too often it can be a difficult task to talk about death with our kids, but it is a conversation that is very important to have. And here to talk about this more with us this afternoon, we have clinical psychologist Dr. Joshua Williams. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You know, unfortunately, you and I talk in situations like this all too often now. Let's talk about just a very generic question. How do you even begin to approach your children in a situation like this and talk to them about what has happened?
One of the bigger challenges we're facing right now is that this is a middle schooler. Where I grew up, it was junior high school, but the range of maturity for kids in middle school ranges from pre-adolescent to adolescent, and then even younger than pre-adolescent, and all of these children have different perceptual styles for coping with anything. Parents and counselors just need to be available typically. They don't need to present these issues. They'll come up on their own. There's no need to compound the trauma by forcing people to talk about it.
Is there a difference in how you approach it if this was an acquaintance or if this was a best friend? I imagine it can't be ignored if this was a child's really good friend. This is something that's going to impact really their day-to-day life.
Yeah, the thing we need to keep in mind again is that the age of the child who's been affected by this is critically important, and the younger children typically will respond to how the adults around them are responding to the situation. As kids get older, then they seek out adult advice and consultation about the morality, what will happen. All of these kids are going to want to know, am I safe? What will happen to me?
And keeping that in mind, the am I safe mentality. Obviously, we are talking about this a lot on TV. It's going to be in the papers. It's on social media. Do you try to shield your child from that in a situation like this?
I don't see how it's possible to shield your child. I think the bigger issue is how do we stop this cycle and start looking at prevention? Why don't we look? There's some programs on the West Coast where they're doing positive things in the schools, teaching kids how to problem solve. In a situation like this, the kids themselves would be in a better position to console one another if they had better training starting in kindergarten even.
That's a great point. One last question. How do you know, what are the signs that maybe talking with your child isn't enough and that maybe you need to seek out some professional help for them?
Excellent question. And generally speaking, we look for any radical change in our child's behavior. They stop sleeping or eating, or they're just suddenly ornery where they used to be very sweet, or vice versa.
All right, Dr. Williams, thank you very much for your perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mona?